Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Rant Squad. I am the Water Dog. This is
Jordan.
and this is,
Bernard.
and we're going to give you our Week 11 picks. Who you should be rooting for your pick'em contest, brother. Right now in ours, it is Clint with a 43-17 record, followed by Brendan with a 42-18 record, followed by yours truly with a 40-20 record. Me and Brendan with the top dogs this week, both going 5-1. So we moved up the game on Clint. Kind of what we did there.
Yeah, the Jets. Awesome.
Yeah, so let's do it to it. We're going to have a lot of big games, and there are going to be some really, really spicy games this week. And we're going to start with Washington and Philadelphia. And this is really, we're looking at who's going to win the NFC East. And so this is going to be one of the first deciding steps as we get for that. And Philadelphia's at home. Philadelphia has won a good handful of games. Washington just lost one. I'm going Philly. I just don't think that Washington's going to be able to stop Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has been putting on a show here over the last few weeks, and I just don't think the show's going to stop. And so I like Philly at home to win this game.
So I think Washington is coming off a hard loss. Right? Zach Ertz literally maybe half a yard from getting that first down that really ended the game for him. I've been big on the Commanders all season. We have talked about these two games at Philly and at Washington. They're going to win the division, I think. Whoever wins these games. And so when I just kind of looked at this, go with my gut, get the Hogs ready. Give me the Commanders to win this game. And I could see it where they lose this because Sirianni gets aggressive and goes for it one too many times on fourth down. Doesn't take the points when he should. And the Commanders, I think with Dan Quinn, will not make those mistakes and win this game.
Righty. Man.
Well, since, hey, Philly's season has gone exactly how I predicted. Said they were going to struggle to start with the running back, the new coordinator, and then they're going to find their footing. Since they found their footing, this is simply I'm taking the home team. I'm taking Philadelphia. I'm taking my Eagles. I think the defense has played very well. They've been a top 6 pass and rush defense since the bye. Played very, very good football. I do think this is a situation where these two games get split. I think the Eagles win their home game, and I think Commanders win their home game because the last couple of years, the Commanders have really, even when they've been down, they've really brought it to Philly. I think they were Philly's first loss last season. I think Philly was like 8-0 or 7-0, and I think the Commanders beat them conference. A call that was arguable, both sides arguable. But anyways, I think Philly gets it mainly due to the running game.
Okay, let's do it to Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Probably the game I'm going to want to watch the most, very much like last week of Pittsburgh and Washington. I don't know what it is, but I've enjoyed watching the Steelers play. The Steelers are going to be at home. They have pretty much dominated the Ravens here over the last couple of years. Even last year, they beat the Ravens twice. And they're going to be at home, and this is a much better team, and especially on the defensive side of the football, I think the Steelers are much, much better. The Steelers have been able to run the football as well. I don't think this is going to be a major high-scoring game because, once again, this is one of those divisional, you got to knock each other's heads out kind of game, and I think this is the kind of game Mike Tomlin loves. And so I'm looking at about like a 20-17 victory for the Steelers. I like the Steelers in this matchup. What you got, Brett?
Yeah, so when I'm really looking at this game, I can't wait to watch it either. I definitely will be tuning into this game. And I think one of the big things is at Pittsburgh, their defense looks really good. And Lamar's going to have to throw it to win this game. I think they're going to come in and say, no Derrick Henry, and Lamar's not running. And I'm just going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers who play really good defense at home and stop this Ravens team. And this could be where they split. Home teams win it.
Maybe.
But I'm going to take the Steelers in this one.
I'm going to double up on the away team. I like Baltimore. I like those Birds. They look good.
You're staying in first or possibly going last?
Yeah, possibly. I like the Ravens. I do think this is the riskiest of all my picks. This is the one I'm shakiest about, just because I could see Pittsburgh coming through. But I think one thing we are discounting is Baltimore's got that mini bye. They played Thursday. They're going to have the extra rest. I think they're going to have the extra time to game plan. I think it's going to be a big factor.
All righty, here we go. Another good matchup. Atlanta at Denver. And I got to tell you, man, this was the one I really had to think about the most. Because I like the way Denver's been playing football, and their defense has been stout. I mean, really, really stout all year. They've been able to shut down a lot of different teams this year. But here's the thing: they're coming off of a heartbreaker, and sometimes it's just hard, especially when you're a young team coming up off of a heartbreaker. For the Falcons, I don't believe because they've already done that. They've come off a heartbreaker and come back and won a few games in a row. So they've already done this because they've got a seasoned veteran.
Yeah.
If there's one thing about Kirk Cousins, it doesn't bother him. He comes back the next game, he's just going to play Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
So that's one of the things I love about Kirk Cousins. It's like you can never tell what kind of game he's having when you look at his face because it's always the entire game. I mean, when he does something good, it's so it's like you can't tell if he's had a good game or a bad game by his part. It reminds me of Eli Manning, which used to frustrate the heck out of me. Every once in a while, you see how Eli go, yes, but that's like every once in a while. Most of the time, Eli's just like,
He's there.
He's there, man. Easy E. And so this was a tough game for me to really pick, man. But I'm going to go with the veteran squad. I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think they're going to be able to recover from their loss better than Denver. I think that they've got a better offense. I think that the Atlanta defense is good enough to stop what Denver does on offense. And so I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Yeah, so when looking at this, I think both teams come off a really hard loss this past week. I think Denver at home, that mile-high air. I'm going to take Atlanta to win this game. I think they have the better offense, weapons-wise. I think they have the better quarterback. Bo Nix looks really good. But Kirk Cousins, he is a veteran, and he's been really good this season for the majority of their games. And so I just think Atlanta needs this win. They know they need this win to stay ahead. Tampa Bay is just biting at their heels, and they need it. And so give me Atlanta to go in and win this game.
All right, Clint.
I like the Dirty Birds, and I'm sticking with the away team so far. Also, a big thing that I think nobody is talking about is how much Bijan has really turned it on these last 4 or 5 weeks. You know, he was kind of all last season, he was kind of up, down, and this season he started a little slow, but he's been really on, had 100 yards and I think 2 touchdowns this week. So Bijan's really starting to get in there.
All righty, here we go. This is an important game right here. Seattle at San Francisco. Doesn't get any more important here in the West because you've got to win these divisional games in the West if you expect to make the playoffs. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. And Seattle, man, there's some games they just look like they could be, all-stars. And there's other games just kind of, so it's tough for me. The other thing is that San Francisco probably should have lost this past week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really.
Right. Baker gave them everything they can handle.
Danny Baker Mayfield has been so much fun to watch. I watched that entire game. There was 3 games I set up and watched, record them all, so that was one of them. Just watching Danny Baker Mayfield play. He was good. Great. But getting back to this one, I think San Francisco's just got too much talent, and they're at home. Division game.
Healthy.
Yeah, they're getting healthy, because you got McCaffrey back, and now you're going to have a second game back with him. You got to go San Fran, so I'm going to go San Fran.
Yeah, I think when I look at this game, it's going to be really close. These divisional games, really within this division, are always really tough to pick. And I think it's going to come down to Moody. Field goals. Because when you think about it, if he makes his, that Tampa Bay game isn't as close as it ended. He missed, 3 or 4?
2. 3.
Yeah, but this isn't the first game he's missed. This is the first game he's missed field goals too for him this year. So and I thought
it was a rough kicking week though.
Yeah, but if I'm San Francisco, I would be. But the other thing too is he's been hurt.
Yep.
So, Moody's been hurt, and they're putting a hurt kicker out there on the field.
They couldn't kick field goals when he wasn't there.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why they haven't. I don't understand why they haven't brought in a kicker yet. That doesn't make any sense. That's coaching and management. They should have already brought in a kicker for that.
I think he's going to be a little more healthier this week. I think they have a better overall team. They're at home. Give me the 49ers to win this game.
All right, Clint.
Get out the room. San Francisco's taking the sweep on Seattle this week. I can't ride all birds. This is the first one. They're going to ground the Seahawks. Every other bird's going to fly high, but not the Seahawks.
All righty. Probably the most important game to decide the AFC. And
Seeding.
Seeding, but I'm simply saying, it's going to decide it. So Kansas City at Buffalo. Man, Kansas City's looked vulnerable the last couple of weeks. I picked the Buccaneers to beat them, and they should have beat them. And then this past week, the Broncos had them and lost that on that blocked field goal. And Buffalo has looked really, really good, and they're playing at home in Buffalo. They've met 7 times here in the last few years in between this Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes has won 4 times. Josh Allen has won 3 times. But Mahomes has won the playoff games.
That's right.
And that's been the big thing. But it's a regular season game. I'm going to take Buffalo. What you got, Brendan?
Until somebody shows me that Kansas City's not just God's little biscuit eater, and someone puts their voodoo doll away. Like, can we count how many times this team should have lost already? Like, from literally.
Dude, they're a play from 0-10.
Here's the scary thing. Now I know I picked the Chiefs to win the AFC this year. Here's the scary thing. It's very, to me, reminiscent of watching the Eagles last year. When the Eagles went 11-0,
Yes.
and they were playing all
I
these
was thinking
games,
about
and
that.
they were winning all these games by these really weird ways,
Tight.
and all of a sudden it caught up to them at the end of the season. It caught up to them. Now,
They're just too well coached.
They're well coached and stuff like that, but it is very reminiscent.
It is, but the difference is 1 or 2 losses. Andy Reid's not losing this game. That's serious.
But I'm going to pick Kansas City because once again, until you can show me that they do not have the favor of the Almighty and block kicks, 1 toes out of bounds, missed pass interference, the list goes on and on and on. It'll be Chiefs.
All right, Clint.
Kelly, you want to read that?
It says regression equals Buffalo.
Oh, it does. It says regular season.
Oh,
equals
regular
Buffalo.
season. I thought it said
God, regression.
Yes, it looked like R-E-T-R-E-S-S.
There's not another R there, but anyway.
Regular
No, I
So
was
he read what he needed to read.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing when I saw it. I said, "Oh, well, it's in the regular season and it's Josh Allen's turn to win." So Buffalo Bills.
Okay, there you go. Let's go to I think probably this is the game I want to watch second most right here. This is the game because this to me is going to decide who can make the playoffs. Will Cincinnati make the playoffs, or will the Chargers make the playoffs? Because that's really what we're talking about right here. Cincinnati and the San Diego Chargers. That's right. I said San Diego. As long as you've got powder blue uniforms and a lightning bolt, you are still San Diego. That's right. Los Angeles, San Diego Chargers. And of those 2 teams, the one I have not believed in all year has been the Cincinnati Bengals. Of those 2. Now, I said both those teams weren't going to make the playoffs. But I was more confident the Bengals weren't going to make the playoffs. Chargers are going to win this game. They're playing at LA, and so I just don't have any faith in what Cincinnati does defensively. None.
That's fair.
None. I don't have any
That's
faith
fair.
in the second half adjustments from their head coach. None. I will take the LA Chargers. Brendan?
With this one, I'm picking the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow and Chase have thrown everything, literally. They probably even have thrown the kitchen sink at this point at trying to win a game. The Chargers cannot put up points like the Ravens did. They cannot do it. And so give me Cincinnati to win this game. I don't know really what it means for their season, at that, but they're going to win this game.
Well, let me ask you this. You want from one Harbaugh to the other Harbaugh. You don't think that John's calling up Jim and saying, well, what didn't work against these 2 guys and you guys? And you don't think they're not going to have that conversation?
Yeah, they can have that conversation all they want.
Yeah.
The Chargers don't have the playmakers.
Okay. All right. Clint?
I don't think the Chargers can keep up.
You think it's going to be a track meet?
I don't think it's going to be a track meet. I think the Bengals are going to be able to score 24 to 27 points, and I'm not sure the Chargers can do that unless they turn that thing over to Justin Herbert and let him.
I think what is really going to help Cincinnati, and I kind of hate to say this because the guy got hurt, but being down to 1 running back. I think now with just Chase Brown, I think it simplifies that offense. They're not rotating. They're not.
Right.
This is our guy. These are the guys we
And
got.
Chase Brown is the better passing, and Joe Burrow, man, this is why he was my MVP at the beginning of the year. Look, he has been on. It does not faze him. The losses do not. Could you imagine? I mean, we can't imagine because we're seeing it. Aaron Rodgers going to he's given up. That's what he has. Joe Burrow has not given up. If it wasn't for wins and losses, he's the runaway MVP. If it wasn't for wins and losses.
Yeah.
They're going to lose. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. As much as
What you think?
it's still a team game. It's still a team game, and at least the Chargers have convinced us they do know how to win.
I told you the season they were going to be a surprise
the
team.
Bengals have not convinced us of that yet. They know how to win.
The offense knows how to win. The defense does.
Well, there you go, folks. That's our picks, brother. I'm probably more right than they are this week, but that's how it goes. We'll find out when the week is done.
If I look at the standings, you haven't been more right than either of us this year.
I just said that. But I said it kindly. We're the Rant Squad on the Water Dog. This is.
Jordan.
This is.
Minority.
And we're out of here.